Let's just change this to crafting tutorial. Save. Okay. Everyone should be able to see my screen. And just let me pull up my little list of things here. Alright, so for those of you that came to the last session, we went over farming. If you guys weren't here, I would really recommend you check that session out. It's linked in the armory. It is kind of a precursor to what we're going to go over tonight. So for those of you that came to the last session, just to give you guys a brief rundown, we went over how to get resources, how to set up your serfs, how to get serfs, and why the importance of having 5 sets of serfs is important, I guess. Anyways, check it out. And then for this one, we're going to go a little bit deeper into it. So the first thing we're going to do right away is I'm going to show you how to do some crafting that's very simple. So for all crafting purposes, what you want to do wherever you are, just as a heads up, you can craft in cities, like Abelis, for example, and you can only craft certain things in those cities. So you can see the local products here. They get a bigger list of them. You can see in here all kinds of stuff here. In order to get these things, though, you need precursor items or prerequisites. So those prerequisites are materials, and to craft materials, you need those exotics we spoke about in the last session, and you need resources, which we also spoke about in the last session. So the resources are like coarse cotton or the trees, let's see, or like limestone, for example. That would be a resource. The exotics would be the things that you get a chance of pulling off of that resource node. So to craft materials, which you need to craft unit kits and artillery, you come to the refinery overseer, and depending on where you are will depend on what he's going to be able, or you're going to be able to craft through him. So you just interact with him, you go to refine resources. So you have 3 different tier options. You have uncommon materials, you have rare materials, and you have epic materials. It goes up. The required stuff is more intensive the more you go up. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. To craft purple stuff, you're gonna need more things than you are to craft green things. So with, just to give you a brief kind of overview, with all these green things, you don't need any exotics. So you'll see here, it's you just need wood, or you just need cowhide, right? You just need rough stone. You do not need exotics. When you get into rare materials, you need green exotics. So you can see here it requires 1 flax and 25 rough cotton to make 1 cheap fabric. Now, you'll notice there's 4 cheap fabrics here. The reason for that is there's 4 different tiers of resources. So rough cotton would be the low tier, fine cotton would be the high tier. The difference between high tier and low tier resources is the required amount. So you'll see here it only takes 7 fine cotton and 1 flax to make a cheap fabric. Whereas here it takes 25 rough cotton and 1 flax. That's really the only difference when it comes to the resources, is how much it's required when you go to make materials. So, and then again, you can go into here where it takes 30 of these, right? Or it takes 10 of these. Now in the purples, in the purple material, you'll see it takes a regional exotic and also just a normal exotic, right? So there's mountain cotton as a requirement. All these things you can get from the market. However, it's way cheaper to just go out and farm them, like I showed you guys how to do in the last episode, or the last session. So for all, intents and purposes, what we'll do is I'll just show you guys how you can, make whatever. So we can make 8 quality fabrics. It's not a lot, but I only have, that's probably, see if I get something else that I can do more with here. Okay, so here we go. So we'll do 82 fine fabric. It's only going to take 8 seconds to make that. So that fine fabric is going to go into my, I think my wagon. Yeah, it goes to my wagon. From there, what I can do with it is I can put it into my supply dump. So to make materials, you come to the refiner or refinery overseer, and that's how you make the materials. With these materials, you can make unit kits and you can make artillery. If you guys are assuming, you're probably right. Purple stuff, for the most part, you're going to be able to make high tier, which means purple, gold unit kits and arty. I don't think there's really any gold arty you can make. I think you have to get all from boxes, but definitely unit kits, you need, for the most part, purple materials. Some unit kits that are purple require blue, and some artillery that's purple require blue. It's not cut and dry, so it's not like you need blue materials for blue kits. It is interchangeable. I will pin a artillery and unit crafting generator into the armory. What that will let you do is you can make a copy of it into your own Google Drive, and you can go in there and you can put in how many of what kit or how many of what artillery you want to make, and it will show you the required materials to make that stuff. It's a lot faster to do it that way than the way I'm about to show you. So the other way is we go down to the unit armorer is the guy's name. That is where you make unit kits. So you'll see here, you can make some gray unit kits, right? You can make, well, we can just change it by tiers. Actually, no, we can't. We can change it by that instead. So you can make green unit kits. And by the way, in Conqueror City, that is not where you can make the best unit kits. You'll see here you can only make blues in Conqueror City. That's why capturing a fief, like Abolus for example, and then leveling it to level 6 will allow you to make essentially the Liao Rangers kits or Fire Lancer kits and Shield Maiden kits. Leveling it to level 7 will allow us to make these optimal Hawachas. So that's why fief quests are important. The more fief quests we complete, the higher this fief will get, and the more things we'll be able to craft. And when you craft these things, you'll be able to sell them on this market. And trust me, if we can make gold Shield Maiden kits right now, there's none on the market. Which tells you and tells me that we're all going to be able to make a lot of money, because there's no maiden kits on the market right now. Which means we get to set the price essentially. If we do Fire Lancer kits, you can see here 5 Fire Lancer kits. The low end is 24,000 silver for 5. So it's pretty good money. For the sake of this video, what we'll do is we'll make a unit kit in here. Let's see if I can make a blue one somewhere here. I really like Outriders. Unfortunately, I can buy that, but I'm not gonna. Let's see, what can we make a lot of? I don't really have a lot of blue mats left. I need to get my material makings up. Nam cans. Yeah, a lot of it requires this planed wood, which I don't have a lot of. Yeah. So, No big deal, we'll still do it. Where's those Outriders? We can't make them, that's right. Let's make these Wu Jing pikemen guys. So that's the lowest amount of materials I have, 24. I don't know what that is. It's at least 7, right? Wait, I should be able to make 8. Yeah, there we go. So we'll make 8 of these kits. Oh, it froze. My stream froze. Just a sec, I'll reopen it. Let's try this. Let's try stream quality 30 FPS. Yeah, that's what we want. So I just made 8 of these kits using materials. So I'll make some of these kits too because I know my screen froze there. So let's see. Can I make 3? Yeah, I can make 3. And you do this at the unit armorer. So this is how you make kits. You go to this guy and you make them. Between different fiefs, again, you'll have different options to craft. So that's what I was saying is, you know, at the Shield Maidens, you can craft them at Abelis, right? So switching over to artillery, and it's quite the same, really. Artillery is kind of, you know, it's there. Once you get the hang of how you craft materials, then that's really when you'll start to be able to craft other things pretty easily. So if we go over to the gunsmith and we go to build artillery, it looks like we can only do green arty here. Artillery takes a long time to craft as well, which is a little annoying. I wonder if I can make green tanned leather and raw iron. Let's see. Need tanned leather. Let's just make 200 of that real quick. It's gonna, you guys, I see what you guys are asking. It's gonna depend on what the unit kit you're buying. Some unit kits are more outpriced than others. It's not always a hard 2-to-1. Although, you could kind of take that and I guess apply it to, in a sense. What was the other thing I needed? Raw iron. Probably can't make any of this shit. Yeah, let's just buy some mats real quick. Wait, let's just buy this. So let's make, can we make 200 of this? Let's just make 300. You don't have to sit in this screen, by the way, while that's crafting. It'll automatically go to your wagon. You can just go do your other shit. You can queue up for sieges. When it's done, it'll load into your wagon. Should be able to make, well, we're gonna make, so yeah, you can see like one unit kit would take like 1 second, whereas one piece of green artillery takes 15 seconds. And the better the artillery you are making, the longer it takes. So like in optimal grape shots, I think a 60-second crafting time for one. Something along those lines. It might be higher. But there you have it. So you crafted a Scorpio. So that's how you can craft your own stuff. The good news is with the Scorpio, when you craft it, it is not bound. So I can go on the market if I really wanted to, and I could sell that Scorpio. right? So that's, in a nutshell, that's how you craft. So you make sure you craft your materials. If you're doing unit kits, you go to your unit armor. If you're doing the gunsmith, you go to the guns, or if you're doing artillery, you go to the gunsmith. Typically speaking, I would save up as much of your exotics as possible. So I'll go show you what I mean by that. Let's see, exotics. I would save up as much as these as possible throughout the season. Right? And then in the end of the season, we'll probably have a fief, or at least a ally that we can craft from. And then we'll be directing everyone, hey, like, we're going to go craft here, and this is what we're crafting. Usually I'll even put out a little guide on what we're crafting and how we're crafting them. So, like, say we all want to craft shield maidens, I'll put, like, a little screenshot of the generator. And, or if we're doing grape shots or what have you, I'll put a screenshot out just demonstrating how much material it takes to make it. Let me just find that generator so I can show you guys quickly how that works. Just one moment here. Generators. Is it this one? Yes, it is. Okay. Let's change my window. Change windows. There we go. So, real quickly, and there's not every unit in here on this page. It's more or less just like kind of the popular by demand ones. We can always add more in if we need to, but for the most part, these are usually what we're dealing with. I do see that Shield Maidens is not on here though, so we'll probably have to get that added. Unless it's like, no, it's not over there. Yeah, so regardless. Artillery is what I like to craft, and it's usually what I try to hunt down at the end of the season. So let's say you want to craft 50 purple grape shots, which is a lot. Like, it takes a lot to do that. So let's be a little more reasonable. Let's say we want to craft 10. Okay, so we're going to craft 10 grapies. The total silver to craft that is going to be 45,000 silver. I think if you buy these. Or sorry, no, it's 4,500 per grape shot. That's right. Yes, I'm sorry. It's 4,500 per grape shot. So it's going to cost you 45,000 silver total. Now, here on the left are your materials that you need. So you need cast iron. You're going to need 10,000. Cast iron, 5,000 improved copper, 5,000 planed wood, and then 5,000 shellac. No, sorry, it's 1,000 planed wood, 1,000 improved copper, 1,000 cut stone, and 2,000 cast iron. I'm looking at the, pretty sure that's how it is, right? Or is that broken down so that it's each one? Fuck, maybe it is 10,000 cast iron. If it is, that's a lot. I'm sorry, guys. Like, that seems a little bit high to me. Maybe it is, though. Regardless, this shows you what you need to make that. So if I look at this, yeah, I think it is 10,000. But here's what you need. So you either need 14,000 hematite, which is the purple stuff you get from a quarry. Blue. Limonite, I think, is blue. Magnite's green. Siderite's gray. So that's one resource. And then you need 2,000 calamine. And that should give you, I believe, 10,000 cast iron. Once you get this and all of this put together, it'll give you 10,000 cast iron. Moving down, you'll see here shellac. So shellac, tin, and the sinew and calamine. Those are all of those green exotics. So let me just go into this. So see, there's the calamine, sinews, furs. Those are green, right? Tin. It is hard to get 2,000 calamine, but it's not impossible. Like I got 5,700, and to be honest with you, I'm surprised there's none for sale. One sinew is 6 silver, so you can do the math on that right now. It's not impossible to get these, but you do gotta farm it. Yeah, well, I don't think you can buy green exotics. I think you can only buy the blues from the merchants and purples, like regional exotics. I don't think you can buy green ones. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you can't. But either way, that kind of gives you an idea how to run this generator. So I'll put this in the armory. You guys just need to make a copy of it yourself. And once you make a copy, you'll be able to so you just want to make a copy. Once you make a copy, it goes into your own Google Drive, and then you guys can just use this on your own. The reason why I don't let everyone edit this is because there's formulas in here and we don't want them fucked up. Let me just switch my screen again. Change windows. Yeah, I was going to say that it's easier to get your resources than it is to get your exotic. So what I do normally is I don't have very much for resources in here. Because if it is resources that I keep, it's usually purples. But yeah, you want to get, yeah, you could turn them into green materials as well. So it's got a point there. So instead of like trashing them, you could go here and just turn them into green materials and then even sell them on the open market. So for example, like, see all that? Like, I don't even know how much that is. Like, what is that? 60,000? No, it's 10,000. See? So I can make 10,000 rough fabric. Which I'm actually going to do that right now. It's going to take like 17 minutes, so. But that cuts down a lot of space if you do that, because it's a lot, like, the resources don't take up as much, or the materials don't take up as much room as the resources. Like, 4598 is 36 volume. 6. Yeah, I guess it also depends on the resource. At the end of the day, though, it's easier. You get more money out of your materials than you do out of your resources. So to Civit's point, you can turn those green materials into decent silver a lot quicker. I'm just going to go check something real quick, just so that I'm not giving you guys false information, so just bear with me. And I'm going to check this list of stuff real quick. So we did unit artillery crafting. So when it comes to fief quests, guys, just to give you guys a quick breakdown, I know we haven't really been hammering home which fief quests to do. We've been saying focus on ones that give you house experience. For those of you guys that don't know what those ones are, that would be this icon right here under the quest reward. So if you're doing fief quest, look for this reward and complete those. See, this one doesn't give you anything. This one gives you honor, right? This one gives you honor. This one gives you honor. Usually the regional exotics, the materials, and sometimes the like unit kits, they'll give you house experience. I'm just going to go look at something real quick. So when Civet was saying you could buy these at the open world, I'm not really trying to gear these tutorials towards spending silver because I know you guys are new and that's kind of counterintuitive. But I'm just going to check something real quick. While we're going there, we did the Thief quest. I told you guys how to look for house XP. Normally we would post Thief quests under the announcements, just which ones to focus, but we've been basically just saying do the ones that give you house experience because there's nothing really set in stone right now what we're focusing on as far as which city. Um, yeah, that's that. Now I do have one thing in here to do. But I'm just going to save that for our next session, which is going to be a review of the Green Book. Alright, so when Civet was saying you can go to trading posts and buy stuff, this is what he meant. There's trading posts next to cities. There aren't none in the north of the borderlands, so don't waste your time looking for them. But there are lots down in the south. And if you go to the trading posts, you can buy things. So here's where those regional exotics are. I'm pretty sure you can't buy green exotics here. I'm like 90% sure that it's only blues and up. I'm just going to check another one just to be sure. Let's go check Dionlu. We haven't hit our daily cap yet though, so he's fine. It's still going up. Let's go to this one and see. I'm just going to check this one, and if it doesn't sell green, then I'm going to say prove me wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's blues and up only. Yeah, blues and up. So one optimal cauldron is 20,000 silver at this area. How much is it on here? Pretty cheap compared to that. Anyone want 50 optimal cauldrons for 750,000? Good lord. So yeah, that's kind of how you craft, guys. The main thing is just keep it in mind that you want to kind of save as much of those materials in those green exotics. The green and above exotics you want to save. You don't need to worry about your resources because it's really easy to pull lots of resources at once. So yeah. If there's any questions, again, just toss them in the armory. Come see me, or toss them in the tavern, whichever. Next week, I'm going to go over the complete green book with everyone, make sure everyone's caught up to speed on what's in there, and just make sure everyone's aware of kind of some things you guys are probably already aware of, but it'll probably be beneficial to some of you. I'm also going to go over 2 sessions that we used to do with people a while ago before we started doing these kind of in-game sessions. So the next week will probably be more of a lecture type style. Let me just see where those are. They are called, and by the way, they may sound mundane, but every time I've done it, people have said they've learned something, even though they're like, pros to the game. One of them is game menus and the NPC training. So we'll go over all the game menu options, like literally everything, every single game menu. We'll go over all of that, and we'll go over all the NPCs inside of a city and stuff. That's one session. The other session's going to be game settings and how to set up your game for optimal performance, and some customization ability that you guys may or may not be aware of. So there's those two sessions, and then we're going to review the green book. So yeah. Is there any questions? Yeah, purple horses sell a ton. It's true. Uh, yeah, I wasn't planning on really going over armor crafting, um, and weapon crafting. I guess that was trying to be kind of its own session. But yeah, I guess this was more geared towards like unit and artillery crafting. Sorry, I wasn't specific enough for you, Civet. Yeah, there's opportunities to be had in the open market for sure. It's just, again, um, make sure you try to save your exotics, because at the end of the season, when it comes crafting time, as you saw, you are going to need in the thousands. Like, uh, if we go to, let's just say we get a spot. Let's say we get Abolus to level 7, and we can craft optimal Hawatches. There's none on the market right now to compare that to. Okay, that's a bad one. Let's do grape shots. So 25 grape shots right now is 300,000. Right? If you were making 10 grape shots like I showed you, that's 125,000 silver profit. So, and purple Hawatches would probably be priced around the same, I would imagine. Improved copper. Someone's got a whole bunch of it on for sale. I'm just gonna go back to the Conqueror city real quick, and I'll run through. The good old thing that Civet wants me to run through. Um, I think most of the optimal artillery, to be honest with you, man, are probably quite similar. Like, it's there. It's there to research if you really wanted to go research it. 12,000 for one, so 10 of these would be around 120. 12,000 for one, 13,000 for one, so 10 of those would be around the same price. Yeah, it's all quite similar. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do straight up is I'm just going to show you guys how to do doctrinal alchemy. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, pay attention. So you press X on your keyboard, opens up this menu, top right corner, you go to doctrinal alchemy. In here, you can combine your doctrines and your little wisdom things to make better doctrines, possibly. If you use the cheat sheet that Civet just posted, that cheat sheet tells me that if I use 8 uncommon, I can make a rare and epic, possibly. So 8 uncommon wisdoms. Let's put them in. Let's see what we get. Well, look at that. Great roll right off the bat. Increases charge damage. Let's do it again. There you go. That's kind of more reasonable to what I'll probably end up getting. Let's do it again. geez. Okay. I'll just use all my green wisdoms. Alright, so there's that. So if we go to Civets cheat sheet again, we look at this, it says I can use a pure wisdom when it's available, and I'll have 100% chance. Use a pure wisdom when available for these purple ones, and I have a 50% chance on a tier 4 or a tier 5. Well, let's see. Use a pure wisdom. Well, it says it right there. Wonderful. Okay. There you go. Tier 4. What is this? Crossbow infantry. Don't really need that one. Can we do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3? And what are these? We'll put one of those on. Use a pure wisdom. Let's see what happens. Tier 5. There we go. So that's how you get better doctrines. You just basically up level. Boom, 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 boom. I don't want to use a pure wisdom. I don't want to use one of those. I'll use one of these. Let's see what happens here with this. No, well, wonderful. So that's that in a nutshell. You can go in there. There's a cheat sheet in the armory. I think most of our stuff's pinned in the armory. Doesn't look like it. I'll pin it so you guys can see it. Pin message. There's that. We pinned the farming tutorial. Okay, cool. The next thing that Civet says crafting on, which was the armor. The armor and the weapons. I didn't waste my doctrines. Nice try though. Okay. So let's see here. What we'll do first is we'll craft the piece of gear, I guess. So we want, let's say we want to craft, I don't know. Let's just say purple chest piece. Or blue chest piece. So you got 53% chance on rare, 44 on epic, and 3 on that. If you want to craft a piece of unbound gear, you uncheck this box. And when you do that, instead of it costing bronze, it costs silver. But the good news is that whatever I craft here, I should be able to sell on the open market. So let me just do that real quick. Okay, cool. And it's got 11 leadership, so that's probably going to sell for decent. These materials, again, you can all buy on the market. They are quite expensive, like powdered silver. Last I checked is like, yeah, for 10 it's 10,000, so it's like 1,000 per piece almost. So it's quite, can get quite pricey. Depending on the gear is going to depend on the required materials. So for medium it's less, for light it's less. So let's craft a piece of light, unbound, see what happens. I don't know what kind of stuff you're smoking, Civet, but that's not. Use 10 doctrines for 1 draw. How high are you, man? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You mean 10 of the same doctrines? Even then, there's only 8 slots. I didn't even pull I didn't pull treaties though. I didn't use treaties at all. I've only showed doctrinal alchemy. So I don't know why we're talking about pulling treaties, but yeah. Pull it in sets of 10, like he's saying. Mass excavation. Mass excavation. Same with these things over here, these signiculums. Mass excavate those. Yes, it is squirrel. Alright, so moving to this new thing they came out with this season, we're going to go to the Artificer's Forge. I want to get better leadership on... Oh, frig. I definitely would like to have better leadership on my light armor. I just don't know which piece yet. Let's just do this one. So with this new system that came out, you can lock in stats so you don't lose them. Why is it not letting me lock in leadership? Oh, it's because there is none on there. Duh. Okay. Well, let's reforge this bad boy. Over here on the left, you'll see how much it's going to take. Let's reforge it. Let's hope for some leadership. No leadership. Screw you. Let's reforge it again. Less health. No leadership. Less critical. No, thank you. Alright. I'm going to do it one more time. 6 leadership. Well, as the saying always goes, ladies and gentlemen, you always want your leadership, so I'm taking it. I don't give a fuck. It's gonna help me. I'll just reforge it again though, because who knows, maybe I'll get a better leadership piece now. No, choose this one. Screw it, let's use all my stones. All the ones I can use, that is. Last roll, give me leadership or give me freedom. Less leadership. Oh well, whatever. Usually if it's over 5 difference in leadership, so this one's 6, I'll definitely take it no matter what. 5 leadership can mean the difference between a purple or a blue unit. I wonder if I get enough to craft a weapon unbound. Oh, I do. Look at that. Well, let's hope for legendary. Oh, it gave me a blue one. That's poopy. Oh well. I already got a legendary on mine. I just, you know, would love liked another orange scimitar to sell on the open market. Yeah, I would have really liked one of those to sell in the open market. Oh well, it's all good. Not a big deal. But yeah, guys, that's how you use the Artificer's Forge. That's how you craft the old weapons and armor and all that good stuff. Actually, before we end this, let's just look and see what maybe I might be able to get out of this armor piece here. 11 leadership. Let's see, it's a purple armor piece. Armor, epic. This doesn't have any leadership on it. Neither does this. What do you guys think 11 leadership is worth? It's actually not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad leadership. 150,000. Really? That's all you think that's worth? It's because you want it. This one's 200,000. It's got 8 leadership. This one's almost 800,000. And it's got 17 leadership. This one's 120 and there's no leadership. Just prices all over the place here. I think it's obviously somewhere between 200,000 and 780,000. I think 780,000 is quite, well, maybe not. Maybe that is normal. 2.7 million, 22 leadership, 20 leadership, 1.2. Okay, so it's got to be below this. How many weeks does it take the average player to get to 200k silver? Well, let's just put it this way. I'm going to put this piece up for 3 days, 275,000. And if I make that, then 3 days. But I guess I'm not an average player. I don't know what you mean by average. Like, do you mean a new player, or do you mean someone that's been in the game where they can craft stuff without having to use bound materials? Because the bound materials is easier to come by than non-bound. Like, for example, you can go to the apothecary. If you come over to the apothecary here, you can get bound materials pretty cheap. Like, you can buy 30 bound powdered silver from her. 60 rivets, 60 steel ingots, 60 of these. Like, just to give you an idea, like, look here, I'll show you. Like, see how much bound rolled leather I have and how much bound powdered silver? Look how much bound steel ingots I have compared to non-bound stuff. It's all about the non-bound stuff if you're looking to resell. Like, this rare armor schematic, I could probably sell that. Yeah, non-bound is very important. Save your non-bound materials, because that's how I've made most of my silver. Like, even if you sell like these, like, say, like, when I was a new player, I didn't really need bound stuff, because most of the time I was just looking to improve I didn't really need unbound stuff, because most of the time I'm just looking to improve my bound stuff that I use, because once you use unbound items, they become bound, right? So if you're looking to make silver, then it's all about getting unbound items and selling them. Like, this rare armor schematic is probably pretty decent right now on the market. Yeah, so 34,000. I'd rather keep mine and have the chance of pulling some leadership than sell it for 34. But yeah, that's how you make armor. That's how you make unit kits, artillery. That's how you reforge your armor. That's how you do doctrine crafting. I think for the most part we got this session in under an hour, which is great. I'd like to wrap it up with that, unless if it has any other crafting things you'd like me to go over. Alright, cool. Then in that case, guys, I will make this link available in the armory for any of you that want to come back and, check in on what we went over. If there's no other questions, that is. I see someone's typing. Okay, I see you guys are just marketeers now. All right, you guys all have a wonderful night, and I will be checking you out on the flip side.